Good morning. This is GAC 022 Assessment Event 3, Individual Oral Presentation. We are at UVM Campus Cumbres. My name is Aileen Galindo Acosta. Today is May 19, 2020, and I'm going to talk about Spinning's overseas marketing mix. This is the agenda with the topics that we will be covering. First, a description of the company, Spinit, then its current marketing mix, the New Zealand space analysis, India space analysis, the competition of spinning, and the overseas expansion plan. Then conclusion and references. Okay, the goal of this presentation is to determine if it is viable for the local company of Spinit to do an international branding on spinning on New Zealand or India. So, spinning is a private indoor cycling business with professional coaches, and this business was chosen because cycling is said to have a lot of successful worldwide because it brings a lot of possible clients. So its possible success will be pondered through the marketing mix of the current company and through the best analysis of the countries of New Zealand and India, also from other information. The hypothesis is that New Zealand will be a most suitable host country. So this is a marketing mix of Spinit, and it helps point out the main points of the company. For example, that the product or the service is a 50-minute spinning session, which includes towels, your private stationary bike, and the coach, and also lockers to put your stuff. The price of the session depends on what package do you buy. It starts from 160 Mexican pesos and it gets cheaper as you buy a bigger bundle. Then it's located in Monterrey. It has two locations, Cumbres and San Jeronimo, and its promotion is mainly through social media and its website. It was done also an interview with the manager of marketing of Spinning, and he said that the target market is people with medium to medium high or high income. And yeah, this is a marketing mix. Then the best analysis. The best analysis is a table which compares countries in four areas: political, economical, sociocultural, and technological. And it helps the country that wants to go overseas to look at all the different aspects to take into account. So, talking about New Zealand, first of all, some of the highlights is that it has political and economical stability, and it encourages foreign investment through aid, economical aid for international companies. It also, one of the downsides is that it depends highly on the UK. So if there is any um, economic problem there, it may affect the New Zealand. Positive side is that it has very secure and private property, but the rental pricing is increasing. So if the living price is already expensive, the rental price is rising. Obviously, this will be compensated with the possible higher price in which the service of spinning could be sold there. So talking about the population, it is well educated, it has normally a high income, and it has a lot of young people that has a lot of social media presence. So this is now the best analysis of India. India, in contrast, one of the positive sides is that it has one of the largest economies of the world, being third in GDP, and this is uh, partially due to the large amount of resources that it has, including of oil and gas. Nevertheless, there are a lot of countries of conflicts in the country from different groups like Hindu and Muslims. This causes, in general, political stability and population discomfort. So, um, talking about the sociocultural aspect, people are earning more income, and this is something positive, but it is just starting. So, people are starting to improve from low to low, middle, or middle class. In the technology side, India is a top country exporter of IT products. So now talking about, this is a comparative chart of the general points of New Zealand and India of their advantages. Here we can see clearly that New Zealand has a lot more advantages, especially, for example, in the area of demographic, New Zealand has a more suitable demographic for the company than India, and India has a lot more downsizes than New Zealand. Then the competition. This is a very important aspect to take into account, and from things that it can be learned for the company. First of all, it was looked at the company Procter and Gamble because it's a multinational company which brands in 180 countries, and one of its main marketing strategies is market penetration, which is to try to adapt as much as possible the product or service to the country. It has even worked, Procter & Gamble has worked in 5 different lines of businesses to adapt to the host country. So on the other hand, we have Westward Cycle. This is a cycling company in New Zealand, and it's a very good example for spinning if he wants to brand there. So it does website promotion, and it's kind of similar to spinning because you can book your sessions in there, and it has a lot of presence in social media as well. An interesting aspect is that it tries to give as much personalized experience to the clients as possible. So it gives a lot of extra features like phone chargers, a spa, and shower rooms, which give you like shampoo and soap. So all of these extra features make the client love more the brand. So now the possible marketing strategies or the overseas plan. So we can learn from the data of the countries and of the different competition to make attention to satisfy the needs of different markets to adapt the product to them. And this is not very hard because New Zealand, for example, already has a demographic that suits a lot the company, but spending can still improve a little bit to match the country's marketing. And from P&G, we could also learn to work along local businesses and make partnerships. This was something brought up in the interview done with the marketing manager as well. They said that one thing they will a lot looking forward if they wanted to expand was to make partnerships. So this is a very important aspect. And talking about Westward Cycle, we can learn to make more personalized and complete and whole experiences sessions of the service by providing, for example, cell phone chargers, as I mentioned, so the client will like more the brand, and to keep up with the promotion through social media and the website, and to especially, well, to give attention to Instagram. So in conclusion, the expected outcome of the thesis statement was fulfilled. Indeed, New Zealand was proven to be the best host country for from for spinning because it matches the socioeconomic demographic, and it has security, and it has good private property, among other advantages. And for the marketing strategy, it is suggested to adapt, to add extra features, and to continue with the social media. To make this possible, it is suggested a starting plan of things that the spinning can do to start towards branding in New Zealand. Some of the things it can do now is starting to research the specific prices of products and properties that go according to the law. So and regulations, so it will have no problems. Also to see if they can match the prices, if they are viable. Then to find possible partners in New Zealand right now, and to start making collaborations. This can be done alongside starting to have an online media presence with the population in New Zealand. So the population and the consumers will start to get familiar with the brand. And this can be done, as I said, through partnerships with local brands. So these are my references. And now I will want to start a brief discussion. I don't know if the audience has any questions.
Yes, I do. Can I
Um,
ask a question?
yes, go ahead.
You mentioned that you went in your conclusion that New Zealand was a better host country overall. Um, However, I am very interested in. So you focused a lot on the number of population that India has and its socioeconomic level. However, don't you think that there would be a higher advantage in India due to its higher population? And do you think that in recent times, India's socioeconomic level will rise and become better than it's currently?
I think that the point that you made is very good point. It is. Um, I think it is possible that India improves its socioeconomic level, but I don't think it is. It will be done soon enough, or this would be a special big advantage. I also don't think that the population size will provide an especially big advantage of to the company the because the population size doesn't matter, is the type of population and the type of demographic, and New Zealand already has a demographic that will suit spinning. And I cannot tell you for sure how much time it will take India to get to that level, but I honestly don't think it will be soon enough. So that is not something really beneficial for spinning. So yeah, I don't know if it answered your questions. Any more questions? Yes.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, what is your competition in both countries?
Well, the competition was especially investigated on New Zealand since, as I mentioned, it is looked more as as a possible country, and the competition, the clear competition, then, as I mentioned, is was Westward Cycle. There were investigated many different sites of cycling, but the most good example I could find was Westward Cycle talking about India. Well, PNG is a company that is both based. It has both branding in India and in New Zealand, so it is a good example of overall international marketing, and it gave ideas to take into account in that will be useful for the company in either country, but especially the suggestions of or the ideas of Westward Cycles are very useful because it gives um, it are very useful because it is very similar to spinning. I don't know. I wanted to ask the audience if uh, you agree with the suggestions of the projected plan to start working now on spinning, or do you have any more suggestions or things that you don't agree with?
Yeah, can I start?
Yes, of course.
Um, I I agree with you. However, I think I agree with you due to there being a lack of risk as compared to doing it in later times. We don't know how the market is going to be in the next year or in the next 5 years. So I do agree with you to an extent that we should definitely be investing in this kind of opportunity for spinning and being exported into New Zealand, which is a follow-up question from what I just said is, do you think spinning as a market will be as strong as it is right now?
I think it will be very, very strong because um, they already, like I said, they already have a company similar to spinning there. So I think it will have a great success, not only compared to India, but as a host country in general. I I think it's a very good option for spinning to brand there, and I think, as I mentioned, another advantage, moreover, of the socioeconomic similarities, the the thing about having very secure economy is something very important to take into account because you're going to start a business there and you want to start a business in a country where you know they're not going it is not going to have economic problems. So I think that answered your questions. And sorry, but we don't have any more time left. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and have a nice day.